Ominous clouds pressed down on Jackson, Tennessee.
And the news was carrying threats and warnings of tornadoes.
At midnight, an F-4 Twister racing 220 miles an hour ripped through homes, businesses, lives.
I got a phone call at 1:30 a.m. to say that our church had been damaged.
First United Methodist stood surrounded by disaster. By divine providence, or sheer luck, the church suffered only minor damage, blown out windows and a broken roof.
About $1 million. We had just finished a $9 million renovation.
But the worst destruction this church faced was not by act of God, but of man.
Without question, it was the youth minister. The youth minister, it caused far more damage. And we pray your healing mercies.
Months before, First United Methodist had suffered another disaster. This one played out in the media and the courtroom.
The folks who went through hell and back was the church.
Longtime church members watched as their former youth minister was convicted of sexually abusing 3 teenage boys who attended the church. He was sentenced to 11 years in prison.
This young man was well liked and very respected. So naturally the church felt a tremendous sense of betrayal.
Give me a call. We need to put together a media response.
District Superintendent Ben Boone was chosen by the bishop to respond to questions from the media.
I've never had to deal with media in that way. It was overwhelming, and I had a great sense of panic.
The conference communication director was quickly brought on board.
Well, the first thing is you have a terrible sinking feeling because you think, how are we going to do this? This is worse than I ever dreamed that it could possibly be.
We're not shooting from the hip. We're really able to give them the facts that they need to have because we had a plan in place and because we kept communication going. It made a difference.
By doing that, it gave us a sense that we were somewhat in control of really an uncontrollable situation.
Banner headlines greeted the day. It felt like the whole world was watching.
To deal with media requires honesty, telling the truth, and working to cooperate. Defensiveness just heightens a sense of there's something more in the story.
And the more honest you can be, the more open you can be, the better it is.
I would say don't be so easily fooled. We were just sure, absolutely sure, when we read about things like this in the newspaper, it would not happen to us.
And once it's in the news, you have to be able to somehow control that story.
I'm just grateful we had a plan. If you don't have a plan, you don't have a boat. And you're swimming against the waves rather than riding the waves through. And I'd rather have a boat. I'm not that good a swimmer. I'd rather have a boat.